I once read a survey which was trying to determine the 3 statements or phrases that people most want to hear. Those things that they most want said to them. And the first thought when I heard that, I was trying to guess ahead, was good job. I thought people would like to hear that about something they had done. But good job didn't make the cut. Here's the list as I read it. Number 1, I love you. I should have thought of that. Number 2, that's okay. In other words, no problem. I forgive you. Number 3, any guesses?
I need you.
Yes, dinner is served. Who doesn't want to hear those words? And I can say them to you today on behalf of Jesus Christ, who called you here and is offering you a meal. Dinner is served. Today is World Communion Sunday, when all across the globe we are going to come to a table which in reality extends around the whole earth. And God has a place at the table for you. Imagine invisible place cards for each one of us by name. We are all invited. Today of all days, the dinner, this sacred meal, is the reason why we are here. In other words, the focus of the service will not be my words, it will be the meal itself. I don't go to fancy restaurants very often, but when I do, what I always enjoy is to hear a waiter or a waitress come to the table and give a mouth-watering description of the specials. For today's brunch, we offer the specialty of the house, our peach Melba French toast. We make it with our own fresh homemade bread, then we grill it in butter and top it with a rich, creamy peach sauce that has just a hint of raspberry, and then we put on dollops of whipped cream. You get the effect. Well, before receiving today's sacred meal, here to describe our spiritual special today is Reverend Dr. Don Thomas. But not yet. Not yet. Not yet. A 10-year-old girl wanted a bike for Christmas. Her parents were not able to afford one, and she knew that. But one day in late November, when she was rummaging around in the basement looking for something, there before her eyes was the bike of her dreams. They did it. They bought her the bike. Hardly able to contain herself, the days dragged on like years as she waited for Christmas to arrive. At last, the clock struck 6 Christmas morning, and the family migrated to the tree for the opening of their gifts. The presents were opened, all of them, or so it seemed. The discarded gift wrap had been picked up, and by now, preparations for breakfast were getting underway. Her mother was on the way to the kitchen to fry the Christmas bacon when finally the girl couldn't stand it any longer. And she blurted out, "But what about my bike?" "Your bike? What bike are you talking about? The one you hid in the basement?" That bike was not for you. We were hiding that bike for the neighbors next door. Can you imagine the thud with which those 3 words, "not for you," would have hit? It was devastating, and she remembered them for the rest of her life. Not for you. Yet if the words "not for you" can have such a negative impact, what about the positive and powerful impact of the words "for you"? Each of us has had experience of appreciating something, admiring something, be it a child's belabored piece of art or a beautiful hand-knit sweater or maybe even an engagement ring. And the value of that item has soared to the heights when it was accompanied with the two words, "for you." Those words can magically transform something from the ordinary to the divine. Last week, I went to say goodbye to George, Pam, and Rebecca Lee, who are, after their many years on Langsford Road, moving to Sedona, Arizona. But while I was there, they showed me on their iPhone Rebecca's equestrian performance in something called Dancing Under the Stars. Rebecca was brain injured at birth, and what has brought her deepest joy has been her horseback riding. And so together, she and her horse, Maggie May, did a beautiful, jaw-dropping dance. I couldn't believe it. So I went home, I kept thinking about it. So I called her, I asked her if I might have a copy, whereupon she immediately texted back those two words, "for you." Now, she could have just emailed it, for which I would have been grateful. But the two words, "for you," transformed it from being a fulfilled request to a personal gift. Today, as we observe World Communion Sunday, we remember that what makes the day so special is not only that we are joining millions of other Christians in commemorating the Last Supper, but also that as we partake, even amongst the thousands, we still hear Christ's words to each one of us around the globe. This is for you. Jesus might easily have said, "Take, eat, this is my body. Do this in remembrance of me." That's all that was necessary. He didn't need to say any more than that. But he did, and because he did, that's what made all the difference. Instead, in the text, he says, "Take, eat, this is my body given for you." For you. Do you let yourself hear that part that makes it a personal gift to you this morning? Those two words are some of the most important words we have in the English language. Our meal this morning is not waffles smothered with whipped cream. It's much, much more. It's simpler fare. It's a little bread and a sip of grape juice. But what is momentous about it is that it's a spiritual gift, a personal and spiritual gift, expressing an all-encompassing and unconditional love of you given by Jesus himself. It is for you. What does it mean for you? What does it mean to you? Acceptance, strength, faith, forgiveness, staying power, hope, or joy? Whatever it means, it is for you. Today we come together as a member of the family of God. Our family here comes from all over. We come as a global family, with our hearts open, hungry for the bread of life, thirsting for the cup of salvation. And now all we need is the grace to receive. Jesus said, "It is for you." Amen.